December, and that really impacted the early maturing soybeans. And to give you an idea, in Mato Grosso, as of last Friday, the soybeans were about 6.5% harvested, and the average yield thus far, 35 bushels per acre. That's about 20 bushels less than what was anticipated. And it was all because of the hot and dry weather during pod fill. And about 40% of the soybeans in Mato Grosso are early maturing. So the hot and dry weather speeded up the growth cycle for the soybeans, reduced the yield, and delayed the planting.
In South America, the weather was pretty dry on November, but into December, it was pretty wet.
I lowered my Brazil soybeans 2 million tons to 149. All the private estimates have been lowered due to the poor yields of the early maturing soybeans. Now, the soybeans nationwide last Friday are like 2.5% harvested, and that's going to pick up now with some drier weather and more later developing soybeans maturing. So this has been historic loss for soybeans in central Brazil.
Michael, coordinator as a markets analysis in Mato Grosso, Brazil. He is from Hinsdale, Illinois. It's a suburb of Chicago. He traveled to South America for every winters in Illinois. He tells us that the crop is very bad quality of the corn yields in Mato Grosso.
Yeah, well, if you look at all of South America combined, right now, the soybean production is going to be up about 18 million tons from last year. But there's a big caveat here. I have Brazil soybeans 149, and some of the losses in Brazil are being made up by good increases in Argentina. Last year, Argentina had a terrible, terrible year. Their soybean production was like 25 million tons. This year, I have them at 52 million tons. So some of the losses in Brazil are being made up by Argentina, but if it's the whole South America continent, it's probably going to be more soybeans than last year, but much less than what we anticipated a couple of months ago.
Say that he is getting down to yield to 142 million metric tons of bushels per acre in Brazil, and he said yields nearly poorly and down there for Brazil.
Yeah, well, last year was historic drought. It was the worst drought in 60 years. I have Argentina soybeans 52 million tons. That's like a long-term trend. So that's what it should have been last year, but they had just such a terrible drought. It's going from a very bad year to quite a good year. And moisture in Argentina has been improving for the last month or two. Crops have improved as well. The soybeans, as of last Friday, 3% planted and about 30% blooming. And the corn was 85% planted and about 20% pollinating. And I raised both estimates.
Last year has historically drought in South America, like in Brazil and Argentina, the worst drought in 60 years. Michael has 152 million ton of corn and soybean from last year. This audio by Chad Smith from National Farm Broadcasters Association from Platt,